you have successfully fully retraced your steps, although you have encountered some obstacles along the way. You have made it back to the ranger station, and beyond that is just a straight path back to Juvelin. No twists and turns whatsoever.
Okay.
You have followed through the rest of the forest, and as you're passing by the stones, because there was the forest, the rocks, and then the forest again, you notice something strange among the rock formations. In the Latharn, as they were known, left behind carvings on the wall detailing their histories, as far as they knew, and you finally see the as far as their history goes, what happened. So you see the three,
Okay.
leading several to to freedom, and behind them you see several pointy-eared, sharp-featured black creatures chasing after them with yellow eyes filled with malice. You discern that's the drow that kept them in servitude, chasing after them. And
wait, kept who in servitude?
The drow. These are Sverdnebli. They're basically
the Sverdnebli. Okay, yeah. Okay,
this is basically they're close to their written history as possible. Right. That's basically been etched upon the walls of the rocks where they used to hide, the caves. You see after the escape and the ascension of the three, Aztecka, Mordecai, and Mazzari, you see a great mural of Mazzari smashing a cliffside with both of his hands, and on the other side tumbling rocks falling upon the drow pursuers. Do a I don't know if I just... That's what caused the rock fall.
Wait, this is the rock fall? There's a rock fall going on here?
No, that's what caused the rock fall.
Oh.
Basically, there's an incomplete timeline for both sides here. The inciting incident, the one that caused the war, was Sverdnebli attacked us. There was an infestation, and it started when they literally brought down half the mountain on our town and killed hundreds, injured thousands, including Xander's lover Kaldor. So from the perspective of the Sverdnebli, that was what they did the moment they reached the surface. They had to seal off the tunnel where the drow were pursuing them from. That's when Mazzari shattered the mountain, causing the avalanche. Then, following that, you see a mural detailing what appears to be a relative peace as they stayed in Vanderkelt. Aztecka stands before them. Basically, in the painting itself, it's shown her commanding great animals, and the people seem to be happy. Then images of metal men encased in steel, attacking them, slaughtering them, and that's basically the war. So do a perception as you're exiting the caves.
Can I relay the information that I learned to my allies about this?
Yes, of course.
So that they can I want to hear what they have to say about this.
All right.
About how... Oh my god, really?
No, you still rolled fine, dude. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, perception's pretty good still.
All right.
20...
All right, so as you relay this to them, they both seem they're listening to you, and they're kind of taking it all in. They seemed a little bit perturbed, but they're not interrupting your regaling. They says, all those people, all those that perished in the rockfall. I don't. Xander's kind of unable to... You say it was just an accident? All those deaths, it wasn't an attack?
No, it according to the cave markings, it looks like they were trying to escape from their pursuers. From what I was able to determine, it was the drow.
How? He seems a little... He's having a difficult time accepting it because, his lover died during this, so it's kind of like still sucks, but he's trying to understand. He says, I can't, but how do you know this isn't just another trick? Aztecka could have left this on the wall. She's been in this direction. I just...
And then I wait, who said this?
Xander. Xander actually lost someone during the rockfall, so he's having a hard time digesting this.
Edgy McEdgelord. All right, I put a hand on his shoulder. It's like a heavy, reassuring hand because I'm good at doing that. And I say, sometimes the reality right before us can be as unbelievable as you think, but not so long ago, you saw something that you could hardly believe. Did you not?
Yes. All right. If you trust me, I'll trust you with this. But how could we possibly reconcile after everything that's happened? All those lives pointlessly lost. It's fucked. He can't come up with a better word, more poetic word, so he just buries his hand in his face and just sighs exasperatedly. I notices when dealing with spirits, the truth is rarely as it seems. Sometimes it is far more raw and hard to comprehend due to its brutal, brash, and sometimes primal nature. I'm gonna need some time to take this in, but he accepts your what you've told him based on what you've seen. As you're leaving, though, the ends of the murals all end the same way, the same tragic story where the steel men butcher the remaining Litharn to the last man, woman, and child. But you also find a very peculiar bit of dust-covered rocks that you lightly brush away, and you find a very peculiar visage. There. All right, so the last visage you see, it's a non-repeat. It is a sole mural by itself, left alone in a corner, covered with dust, and when you brush it away, you see the same stone carvings. However, this one is of a metal man, supposedly a Jubilant knight or foot soldier, holding a sword aloft before a group of looks like terrified, sort-nebly, like weak and young and children. However, the sword is not being used to cut them down. It seems to be pointing, it's pointing in a direction rightwards of the mural. And following the mural, you see a trail of sort-nebly running towards distant hills with a sun cresting behind the distant horizon.
All right, can I do like a engineering or an intelligence check or some way to determine what that means?
Something like intuition. So anything with intelligence, I will allow.
Okay, I mean, can I? All right. I suppose a history check would make sense. History. I mean, Arcana check doesn't really make a lot of sense in this, would it? Or what about an insight check? Could I do that?
I would allow that too. Just whatever. Right. I can play hard and fast with this. It's all good.
All right. Insight. What the hell does this mean? 20.
All right.
Because I'm still rolling really badly.
You are perplexed by this last mural, which doesn't directly contradict, but it does paint an optimistic look at the ultimate fate of the Litharn tribe. As far as the records in Jubilant and the Dream Eaters indicate that they were slaughtered to the last man, it almost looks like as if this stone man, this steel man, the man clad in steel, which represents the knights, is not attacking them with the sword, but pointing with the blade towards the horizon, towards eastward, towards the sunrise.
So it's kind of like telling them to leave the land?
Whatever you make of that is entirely up to you. But that is what you see, and that's what you're able to interpret. So, all right. So, now you arrive near the ranger station. The air is, the air is cold and quiet, and you start to see the morning dew reflecting upon the leaves. The mist gradually clears, and you see the reddish-orange fingers of a new dawn filling the sky, but you are greeted with the same cackling laughter of the dreaded swarm druid Aztecka. Before you there is a massive host of verminous creatures, blocking the path out. They have assembled at the command of their cruel master, and sneer at you with malice-filled eyes. I'm going to reveal them now.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But anyway, she says, "Oh, you're still alive?" You can hear her voice, but you can't see her. Again, she's trying to hide among her animals. She says, "It makes no matter. You'll be dead soon anyway, and I get to watch Juvelin's collapse from here."
I step forward and I say, "Your rage has twisted you into a dark and evil being, that of which is destroying the very forest in which you have sworn to protect, spirit. As such, I must banish you."
Try it.
I will not try. I will succeed.
Roll for initiative.
I'ma fuck this bitch up! Let's fucking go! Pickle Karus! Here we go. Roll well! 21! Fuck yeah!
Descending. And are you ready to rock, friend?
I am ready to rock. I'm ready to roll.
Alrighty. So,
Two dice.
Xander, after the events of the last combat with the spiders, he and Berlo are standing in the front now. They're more heavily armored, and they got your front because they know you got their back. So they're going to fight alongside you now. The spider swarm, Xander holds his spear aloft. This time, instead of his usual malicious bark, he says, "We're here to save people, not destroy them like you've become. If it must come to your destruction, then so be it." The spider swarm is the first to scurry, and you can see it breaching the side of the forest, and it attacks Xander at his side.
Don't be a bitch, Xander. You can do it.
Well, it's attacking him, so... That is a miss on Xander. He manages to, with the new armor, as soon as they start crawling upon him, he starts squashing them, preventing them from entering any of the folds in his armor. They're kept at bay for now. The rats will then act. This time they scurry up to... Actually, no, they stay where they are. They remain... They're waiting on standby. And you hear squeaking, but you don't see the bats moving anywhere. They seem to be coming from further down and... further southwest? Somewhere from the Shadow Tower back there. But they're staying in place. So Xander, on his first turn, will hold the line. He attacks with... Let's see. You know what? He's going to do an area burst attack. He will shift back
What's the aura do again?
Oh, wait. So the red aura is basically where there's an effect of the creature itself. Basically independent of the swarm druid. The blue aura is basically how your eyes have attuned to the, for lack of a better word, broadcast length of the spiritual aura. Essentially, Aztecka is the tether upon which these creatures
that's
have
right.
to
So
be a certain distance to control.
The more blue auras I'm in, the stronger the signal, right?
Yeah, so basically she hides somewhere between inside the overlap. Find her, attack her, and a successful hit will greatly damage all swarms as well as temporarily stun her, giving you the opportunity you need.
Okay.
And it will reveal her as well. So right now, as far as you know, she is invisible. But Xander's going to try to do some help with these creatures. So he will... Let's see. Spiders operate on tremor sense, so he's going to try to disable their vision, their mode of locomotion. So he takes a quick shift back to get out of their way, and he attacks with Thunderclap. He twists one end of the spear, and out shoots a small bolt of lightning that enters the center of the spider zone.
Sweet.
As a hit, and this is an area attack, so it will do actual damage. Okay, so the spiders skitter in all different directions as the sound of the deafening thunderclap disorients them, and they are now deafened save ends. Because of the way spiders move, they actually use tremor sense based on their webs and their surroundings. Their eyesight's actually very shitty, despite having 8, who knew. They have difficult time finding what they're looking for until they save out. So he's basically giving you some cover so they don't just swarm you the moment you try to get past them. Below will do what he does best and continue to hold the line. He fills in the gap and attacks them with his... This fails to breach the spider swarm. These creatures split to one side, and they are... his sword just contacts the empty earth, but he is now threatening them, keeping them at bay, and basically preventing them from swarming you again, Karus. And he's saying, Karus, I'll hold these vermin off. Find that witch and stop her.
Alrighty, I have every intention of doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna move for sure. So I'm gonna move down here, and I want to take the lantern with me.
With the aura of the light right now, it does not reveal anything in the overlap. She's somewhere nearby, but not quite there. What do you do in the meantime? You're standing before the rats right now. They skitter nervously towards you. What do you do?
Is it possible for me to try and use a standard action to locate her?
Minor to perception.
27.
When you were hearing her laughing maniacally, right? She wasn't anywhere on the ground. She was standing atop the shadow tower. It's like a stone tower.
I see. I see. I see. Okay, that perspective changes things. Okay. I see.
Yeah, the voice came from atop the tower. Basically, she wanted to watch the crumble of Juvelin from a higher vantage point. So she's right now controlling them from a higher... She's not on the ground level. So she's somewhere along the outer rim of the tower itself.
Okay, and what does the condition of the tower look like?
The tower's made of stone, worn throughout the years, hasn't been kept because no one dares go into Juvelin and goes into Vanderkelt Forest anymore. With a decent enough knock, you might actually be able to make it cave in a bit.
So I'm going to try and knock it down, perhaps.
So, target, where are you hitting?
I'm going to use my Spirit of the Healing Flood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would be a direct hit onto the tower.
Okay, so...
and the Spider Swarm and the Rat Swarm.
Oh, for real? Okay, cool.
That would hit the tower directly. Let me see. I want to double check.
Could you just put down the square, please? Your 5x5, just for making my life a little easier. Making my life a little easier.
Right there.
Okay, excellent, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're gonna roll for the spider, then the rat, then do another roll.
All right. This is going to be against their fortitude.
All right.
Against spiders, 36.
That's a hit, friend.
Against rat swarms.
That's what I want to see.
Crit.
That is a hit.
Things happen.
And roll one more time because guess who's in that attack zone?
32.
And that is a hit on Swarm Druid Aztecka.
Yeah, get wrecked, bitch.
So deal damage and give me max for the rats.
What up? All right, hold on. I also do 3d6 additional damage because of my crit.
Got it.
Sorry. Oh, those are all my good rolls. Okay. 14 damage to everyone else.
Got it. All right. So I'm applying the blooding effect to everything that you've just hit too, because, like I said, they take an extreme amount of damage whenever you actually manage to reveal the aspect of Aztecka. So, well done, following your intuition as your allies hold the front line, preventing you from suffering any additional harm. You follow your intuition, you attack the tower itself from where you heard the voice of the cackling witch. And your Spirit of the Healing Flood rushes over the spiders. The rats crashes into the rocks, causing them to tumble.
Nice.
Actually causing additional damage to the bats that are on the inside.
Nice.
That was a, basically you did some environmental damage. Let me roll for that.
Environmental fatality. Until the end of the encounter, I get regeneration 2 while I'm bloodied, and as a minor action, I can end this effect on myself to regain 10 hit points.
Alrighty. So, good job, friend.
Thanks, God.
Alrighty, so you crush the side of the tower, and Aztecka's spirit becomes corporeal, and she also falls, so I'm going to deal some additional damage. Alright, to the ground.
Ooh, nice.
An additional damage as she drops and lands in a broken heap among stone and rubble. The bats behind her squeak in terror as they are disheveled by the sudden onslaught that crippled the head of this dragon. Aztecka stands before you right now, her corporeal form wafting in and out of existence, out of the what is visible, but she is there, and for a round after hitting her, she is stunned. So, good job.
Okay, I turn to them and I shout out, "There! I found her!"
Nice shot! Alright.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really an accurate shot, it was just...
Nice blast doesn't have quite the same ring to it, so we'll just say, well done, good show, well done, good chap, whatever.
Bully, top shelf.
Alright, so on her turn, she would have done something, but she is stunned after being attacked in her incorporeal form and taking a massive blow, falling down and landing before you right now. The Wicked Druid is prepared to draw her sword and also use her enhanced limb as soon as she regains her abilities. So Spider Swarm is deafened, but Burlo is next to it. So it will attack him, and he is now poisoned. He grunts in pain as the spiders run up alongside of his sword arm, enter some of the gaps in his armor, and begin to bite at him at all angles. He's brushing them away, but the poison's starting to affect him. The rats, greatly diminished, move forward and attack you, keeping Aztecka still within their aura. With the grievous blow that you've dealt, all of them, as well as her, they seem rather frightened, but they are still compelled by her malice to seek and rend flesh. In their weakened state, they easily bat them off of your body, and they're unable to hurt you. The bat swarm will finally act. Whatever is left of the bat swarm flies out of the region and falls upon you, Karus, blocking your path. They place you within their aura, and they will also attempt to lash out at you. So with Swarm of Fangs. In their frenzied state, they rip at you from multiple angles. You would take 27, but they're currently weakened from your attack, so you only take 13. At the end of their turns, they all but the Bat Swarm saves out of their weakness. They're dealing full damage again, but they for a round were not. Xander will attempt to back you up a bit more. He moves forward just a little bit so he can be close enough to Swarm Druid Aztecka, and he fires out a bolt of electricity, this time aimed at Aztecka, trying to keep her in place. Okay. So he doesn't do much damage to her, but she is slowed.
Nice.
Basically, he's gonna keep her away from you because she has a pretty good striking range and deals pretty decent amount of damage. All right, so Burlo continues to hold his own against the spider swarm, despite their constant onslaughts at him. He will hold the line and prevent you from being swarmed by both sides. As long as he stands there, they'll stay away. All right, excellent.
I will shift out, and I will use my Spirit Summons ability, which is a free action, to conjure Sheba, my secondary spirit companion.
Yep.
Beside Aztecka, and I will have her, as she, as a conjured, I will have her use a Hungry Spirit, which will attack her for lots of damage. It's against her willpower.
Go for it.
As she leaps in an attempt to rip away at the spirit's ethereal flesh. This is going to be that plus that much. Come on. 29.
29. She is still currently stunned, so she is granting combat advantage. That is, yeah, you're a hit. That's
31. Awesome. Wow. Really high defenses here. 29 damage.
Nice!
Because my spirit companions are really my bread and butter. So I shift back away from the oncoming swarms that are slowly making their way towards me. And in doing so, after I shift backwards, I call out to my spirit companion Shiva, and she leaps out of the ether with a vicious snarl and latches onto Aztecka, biting deep into this sort of Nebly spirit's neck, and ripping away with her jowls, locking them. And if this sort of medley still had blood, it would be spraying everywhere. But instead, it is simply spirit energy leaking off of her. Let's run with that.
Well done, friend. Blah.
I like the effect. Nice.
I'm sorry, the effects are terrible, but well
It's
done.
Hilarious.
You deal her a great blow, and continue to diminish her strength. She's still slowed, which is good. That keeps her decent distance away from you, but she is no longer stunned. She regains control of her mental facilities after being savaged by Sheba here. 1, 2, provoke an attack opportunity from Sheba.
Yes, I will use. There's actually a very specific move for that. Spirit's Shield. One ally within 5 square. Oh, I have to hit her against reflex. 30. Oh, it's a crit.
Nice. Deal max damage.
Well, it's only 7 damage because it's an opportunity action.
All right.
But one ally within 5 squares of my spirit companion regains 5 hit points equal to my wisdom modifier for 7.
All right.
So it can either be. Is Xander hurt?
Nope, he's fine.
All right, then I gain 7 hit points.
Alrighty.
Yeah, to my long spear, so I still get the crit bonus, right?
Yeah, deal the additional damage.
Awesome, I will do just that. I do an additional 8 damage.
Additional 8 damage, well done. As Aztecka attempts to rush past your snarling wolf spirit, she nips at her, but ends up dispersing a large portion of her hind leg as she rushes past, and she almost trips over on herself. But she continues to move forward, despite being greatly weakened and bloodied by your attack. She will now use Slash and Whip, in which she uses both the Kopesh and her Tentacle Strike. So it allows her to shift. Stormtrooper Aztecka, in a burst of fury, rushes over to meet you. I'm going to move the light here. Sorry, I just want to be able to see.
Yeah, it's alright.
Okay. This Verdnebly is small of stature, barely taller than about chest height, but she has the rage of a tiger within her, and she attacks you first with the Kopesh. The blade comes towards your hide armor, and you hopefully are able to dodge. Take 17 damage in that first strike.
Okay.
All right, and she's trying to. She's gonna try to break the line. She strikes Xander, who's basically trying to protect you with his threatening reach, with her tentacle, which will displace him if it hits. As the tentacle reaches out, he manages to parry it just in time, and he holds his ground. He says, "You will not hurt this man again," he says, threatening her with the tip of his spear. He will protect you.
Yeah.
Spider Swarm attacks Burlow, as he is the closest one, and they can still smell his blood upon them. He actually failed his first saving throw against the poison, so the poison's actually having secondary effects now. He plants the sword into the earth, trying to keep himself up. He's still standing, and he will continue to hold the line. He says, "This is the day I must be reunited with her. So be it. But you will not cross this line." He challenges the swarm in an act of defiance.
Oh boy. How's he looking right now? Is he looking all right?
He's close. He's not doing well.
Okay.
The rats are now squeaking in utter terror, but Aztecka compels them further. "You will obey!" she barks out, and they, in terror, rush closer to you, closing the line. And once again, as they do, though, Xander pokes past her with his spear. He basically engaged his threatening reach. He's trying to keep them at bay. Unfortunately, they evade him, and they reach your feet. All right, so the rats bite at you, dealing 17 damage. Their teeth leave festering wounds due to the corruption in their bodies, and you take you're taking 6 damage. Save ends.
Why you hurt me this way?
Bat swarm circles ahead, moves in closer. Crit fail as they rush towards you, fangs bared and ready to attack. He recharges his thunderclap, the attack that deafens, and he takes aim at the bat swarm. Don't crit fail. Okay. It is a hit. 3 damage. All right, so they are now deafened. As they approach you, they're about to attack you, but they entirely lose their means of locating you. The bats essentially cannot see you.
Very cool. This is good.
Burlo takes his damage at the beginning of his turn. He is near dropping, but he holds his ground.
How much damage did he take?
A lot.
How much is a lot?
He has 3 hit points left.
Well, how much damage did he take?
I don't know. Whatever his max health up to 3 is. He's been taking a lot of damage. But,
well, I know, but I want to know how much he took because I can use a move that can help him.
No, that was the beginning of his turn. He took poison damage.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I have an ability called Bonds of the Clan. When an ally within 10 squares of me takes damage, I take half that damage instead.
You want to take the poison damage then?
I mean, I could, but it depends on how much he took. But if he's okay, he's okay.
He took, looks like 6. He took 8 points of damage, but he's down to his last 3 hit points now. So he attacks the spider swarm, hacking away at these creatures, trying to keep them from enclosing you all. Karus, your turn. Beginning of your round, you would be getting damaged by the bats, but they cannot find you, so they cannot damage you. Go ahead. I think you're still taking your 6 damage, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I take 6. That will put me down at bloodied. Actually, I believe.
Excellent. I mean, that's terrible. Good luck.
Oh, it would be terrible if I could get all kinds of really good shit when I become bloodied. So, as the poison continues to pump through my veins, it awakens my inner rage as I use my long tooth shifting and become more lupine in my visage as my snout elongates and my spine cracks and creaks, creating a longer, furrier tail, and I basically become a werewolf. My claws become, my hands turn into large claws, and I bear sharp and salivating fangs, and I take on the same visage very similar to that of Sheba, but in physical form. When I activate my long tooth shifting, I regain regeneration 4.
Nice.
But because I also have my what is it called? My Spirit of the Healing Flood, which gives me regeneration 2 while I'm bloodied. I have regeneration 6 now.
Excellent.
So I get regeneration 6 every turn as long as I'm bloodied. I also gain 10 temporary hit points because of my Sturdy Shifter ability. This is part of me being a Paragon. It's one of my Paragon Path abilities.
Excellent.
So when I use my Shifter Racial Power, I gain 10 temporary hit points. So I'm going to just throw that in here. Boom, boom. And I also deal 2 extra damage, I believe. Let me double check. Long Tooth Shifter. Yes. And then class options. I will fully basic attacks of fierce and gives me damage to discard healer action. Protector Spirit. Long Tooth Shifting as an encounter power. Just double checking here. Until the end of the encounter, I gain a +2 bonus to all damage rolls.
Excellent.
Okay, so now I do more damage, I got a bunch of temporary hit points, and I have tons of regeneration.
Proud of you.
So at the beginning of my turn, I actually had regeneration 2 to begin with, so I guess I only take 4 damage, but I'm still bloodied.
Yeah.
So I'll give myself 2 extra health. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. You ready for this?
Yes.
As a minor action, I will cast my Healing Spirit on Burlo.
Yes.
This allows him to use a Healing Surge if he has any.
Yes. He's on his last ones, but go ahead. Okay.
Okay, so he can spend a healing surge. If he does so, he will regain 3d6 additional hit points.
All right.
Okay, so I will roll for those. So he spends a healing surge, and he also regains 9 additional hit points.
Excellent.
Alrighty. As a standard action, the Ancient Warlord's Inspiration. I conjure an Ancient Warlord spirit in an unoccupied square adjacent to my target. Adjacent to range is within range 5. Target 1 creature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Ancient Warlord's spirit right here.
All right. Finding Warlord. Is that a ranged attack?
It is a ranged 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna provoke an attack of opportunity, but please continue your attack.
Alrighty. If an ally starts his or her turn adjacent to the spirit or in its space, I can conjure on top of people. Awesome. As an immediate reaction, you can allow that ally to make a basic attack as a free action.
Alright.
I can also move the spirit. Okay. So I summon a ancient warlord in the guise of a shogun samurai because I'm a weeb, but he looks cool. And that's my standard action. And this will actually do. This is the warlord will attack as it is conjured.
All right.
So this is against. This is going to be against Aztecka's reflex.
Go ahead.
26 versus reflex.
All right, so that's a miss. The first swipe, Aztecka dodges in her small form. Okay. She's able to nimbly dodge to the side, and she counterattacks as you take off your attention for a moment. She snicks you, or attempts to snick you with her sword. 21 damage. And the special effect allows her to shift 1 square.
So I have 10 temporary hit points, so I will take 11 damage from that.
All right.
0. And then as a move action, I will move Sheba directly adjacent to me.
Sheba rushes to your side, phases out and in, and bares her fangs before Aztecka, keeping her at bay. Aztecka is bloodied at this point, and she will rush back. She does a quick retreat with a quick shift. Whoop, that was the lamp, not her. The lamp.
It's okay, I got the lamp.
The sexy lamp stays where it is. She makes a quick back step in her bloodied form. She is now rasping for air, slumped over to the side and constantly fading in and out of corporeal form. This is my forest. I will protect it until I'm destroyed. She raises her hands once more, and you feel the earth below you start to grow once more. She casts her daily ability, Wall of Thorns.
Wall of what?
Wall of Thorns. It's basically what she did to you guys back when you were on Lord Lake. She conjures up the bramble patch once more, and from underneath it starts to envelop you. She casts a wall burst 8, so it basically creates a 2x4 8 squares worth of. This is against all of you, including the spirits. Can they be attacked?
My ancient warlord cannot be attacked, no.
Excellent.
But Sheba can.
Okay, so this is Burlo first, then Xander, and then this is Sheba, and this is you. This is against your reflex. So you might actually dodge this. 23?
Yeah, too bad you're still hitting. You're hitting my lowest defense, so that's still gonna hit me.
Oh, you are a healer. But anyway, don't worry. Well, actually, you should worry. Okay. So this is going to hit pretty much all of you then. Okay. 23 hits. Okay. So Wall of Thorns, a bramble of ensnaring thorns once again erupts from the ground, wrapping around your legs, crawling up your body, and starting to lacerate you from all angles. Take 29 points of damage. Burlo falls unconscious as soon as he is ensnared. Okay. Sheba takes 29. Is he still there? Is she still there?
Spirit can be targeted by melee is equal the damage. If a single melee or ranged attack deals damage to the spirit equal to 10 plus half my level or higher, the spirit disappears. Otherwise, it does not take any damage at all. So it needs to take at least 20. It needs to take 18 or what the hell, 17 points of damage. And then I take 5 plus 1/2 my level. Otherwise, the spirit is unaffected by attack. So.
Oh wait, no. You said ranged or You said ranged, or it needs to be direct. It's not direct. Shiva's fine.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it has to be the target of a melee or ranged attack.
Yeah, Shiva's fine. Shiva resists it, and Shiva holds her ground as the vines envelop you, though. So you do take that 29 damage. Apply any resistances or whatever. And while you are there, this zone is difficult terrain, and the zone is constantly attacking you where you stand. So that was her return. She does Wall of Thorns, and that's what she does. She now you feel the thorns start to envelop you, and she's now just screaming towards the heavens. What was it? I will purge Vanderkelt of this vermin!
Okay, I'm probably gonna die next turn at the beginning of my turn if I'm taking ongoing damage.
Like, how do you react to that? She's basically, like, she's hulking out. What do you do?
I'm being completely overwhelmed right now. There's nothing I can do. If I survive, I'll react, but if I don't, then I just succumb to the elements around me. I have 3 HP. So,
okay, dude.
So
here's
if I die this next round at the beginning of my turn before I can take any actions, then that's it. I die.
Here's the thing.
But if I can, then I'll get to do reactions.
Sorry, I'm gonna break character again because player to GM. I'm trying my best not to hand wave, but I am giving you essentially prompts. Do you understand? Like, it's like you want to be the spirit guardian. You're
right. Like I said, I mean, it's difficult for me to react when I'm being overrun by 3 swarms at the same time. So, she's saying things. I'm trying to focus on not being completely overrun because, like I said, at the beginning of my turn, when it's my turn again, if I don't die instantly, then I'll react to what she says. But if I die instantly, then I'm dead.
Yeah,
so,
no, but you can converse during a round. This isn't like.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's you. Okay. You always. That's what I'm confused about. You don't wait until your turn to talk. You can talk during the combat. That's the whole thing about the game. The game is like, you know, it's a dynamic environment. Like,
right.
That's why I'm kind of like. I'm trying not to. I'm basically halting the game right now to kind of throw you a bone.
It is tough here because I'm trying to understand what it is my character can do because I only see this character like once every few months. So and he's such a high level, so it's difficult for me to be like, okay, what can I do? And so I'm trying to strategize because usually I usually do that when it's the other player's turn, but now I don't have the time to like come up with a strategy or anything like that, and also try to roleplay at the same time. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying. So, when Aztecka calls out to the forest, I do want to shout out to her, if granted the time. I shout out to her. I say, you're not saving anything. Your mere presence is destroying the forest, and anything you attempt to save will die before your very eyes. And no amount of vengeance is going to bring that back.
You scream this out as you're being ensnared, once again being pulled into the ground. Berlo lies unconscious beside the spiders, and they start to envelop him, and Xander seems also like helpless before the ensnaring vines. She laughs maniacally when you first respond. What would you know? You're a stranger here. You didn't need to take their sides, but yet here you stand before me.
I don't need to be a druid to see the damage this forest has done by your presence. Look around you, spirit. The forest around you dies. Your swarms fear you. They do not love or care for you. They are terrified of your wrath, of the anger that consumes you. That is the best diplomacy I can do, and unless I speak with the spirits directly.
The vines cease to move. The creatures also continue to swarm in a frenzy, but they stay their hands and claws and teeth. They are... Aztecka moves closer to you as you're trapped within the bramble. She says, "No. This forest was my home. I love the creatures here. I killed to protect them. You're lying."
You're killing them in your hopes to protect them. You are killing them instead. Who is the real enemy here? Us or yourself?
She looks up at her hands. She looks at the creatures in front of her. Basically, you can see among the swirling vortex of bats, many of them are mangy, torn up from your constant attacks and flying on broken wings. The rats themselves scurry clumsily over one another, some half-eaten and half-bitten to death. The spiders all crawl upon mangled limbs. Just wanted to protect from the humans. They were destroying everything.
You still can,
How?
but not like this.
How?
How?
She asks, and the vines twist you once more.
Oh boy. You must not give in to the rage that consumes you. Fight against the rage. The darkness, let me help you. I am here not to hurt you, but to help you find peace, to restore the forest to the way it's supposed to be.
She moves closer to you. Help remove this pain. She lets the vines release you, and she reaches out to you. Do an Arcana check to purge her.
Fuck, Arcana is not my thing. 31! Yes! Oh my god.
You reach out to her, and she holds when your hands touch, you basically, the same way that you bonded with Mazari, you see the remnants of her past, of her memories. She's walking through the forest, and the creatures are following her. She's feeding them, attending to them, making sure they're okay. A injured wolf walks past her, and she mends its legs. And she's erecting several shrines throughout the land in respect for the spirit animals that she revered in life. And also you see what drove her to this madness, seeing her shrines destroyed, seeing the animals killed, the forest partially slashed and burned, and standing among her dead that she was unable to save. You feel this immense, overwhelming feeling of sorrow that washes over you. A feeling of regret, but she also remembers how it felt to hold a creature as it was dying and having no other recourse but to send it along its way without additional pain. And in so doing, you also purge her. You put her out of her misery.
Who would have thought my diplomacy would have saved my ass today? Nice. I mean, it's very sad and melancholic, but it's good. I watch as she sacrifices herself for the sake of the forest, and I nod to her, hopefully in giving her some sort of comfort in knowing that her sacrifice is for the betterment of the world that she has spent her life and afterlife attempting to protect. And I want to promise her, whether that's through my own words or just through the look I give her before she disappears entirely, I want to show her that I want to continue. I want to promise that I will uphold her dedication to the forest and ensure that it continues to live, even if she is not.
It was my only home, for the Underdark was no true home to me. I want to see it restored, but I cannot stay.
You will not be forgotten, and your sacrifice will be remembered through the lives and the memories of the creatures who continue to live here because of what you are doing today, Aztecka. I promise.
Thank you, wise shaman, she says with a forlorn look. The vines are dispelled, and they sink back into the earth. The creatures regain some sense, and they disperse, rushing away where they'd be safe. And Aztecka disappears. She says, Mordecai lingers within Juvalin's walls itself, under the very earth. I cannot speak for him, for he the hatred has fully corrupted him. I will not lie to you about your odds, but I hope he finds some peace too. And she disperses.
If you can be saved, then so can he.
Alright. So, the vines disperse and the encounter ends. However, Berlo is still unconscious. He has been rendered unconscious by the attacks. Xander rushes to his side, but he's out of healing potions.
I'm just gonna cast Healing Spirit on him again, as the presence of the malicious spirits seem to have faded. And I call upon the more benevolent and peaceful spirits to heal Berlo's wounds. He can spend a healing surge plus 3d6, so even if he has no healing surges, I still got him.
Alrighty.
I'm also gonna have Sheba move next to him as well.
Yeah.
With Sheba standing next to him, he gains temporary hit points equal to my Wisdom modifier, but I guess that doesn't particularly matter.
No, it does not. But
let me see.
I will heal him.
Thank
Merlot
you.
sucks in a deep breath as life returns to him. Zender's already at his side, and he lifts him up. Thank the gods you're alive. I saw them again. Calder looks good. So does Lily. They're waiting for us. They're waiting for us to be safe. They're staying with us until this is over. Thank you, Karus.
I let out a huge sigh of relief as I fall to one knee. My long tooth regeneration doing its work as the gashes and wounds on my body begin to evaporate, and my flesh heals itself over. For a brief period, you actually notice all of the scars that are actually covering my body, because I'm a scarred healer. That's actually my power. So these wounds, though they may not bleed, will continue to mar my body as a tapestry of wounds long past that serve as a memory to the sacrifices I've made to my allies and to the world. After my wounds have healed themselves, I revert back to my original partially humanoid form. Through pained and heaving breaths, I look up at them, and I give them an exhausted nod of gratitude. I have fought with whole armies before, Berlo, and never have I seen a soldier hold the line as well as you have today.
Thank you, but I'm getting too old for this. Let's head back.
I nod. I go over. I kind of trundle over to Xander as well, and I put another heavy hand on his shoulder, I start to chuckle. The fact that we averted this crisis so narrowly is so daunting. I can't help but laugh at the fact that we're still alive.
He starts to laugh involuntarily too, and all three of them, they're basically kind of uncertain why they're laughing, but you get that thing where one person starts to laugh, and then a chain reaction, and they're all just let's get out of here before we're savaged by another bear. I've had enough of these. I've had enough, I think, of this forest for the rest of my life.
I nod at him and I say, I understand your sentiment. Come, let us return.
All right. Congratulations, you have purged Aztecka from Venderkelt Forest.
Yes.
You return to the city of Juvelin. Across Karus.
So, I'm assuming we still need to take out Mordecai?
Mordecai, yes. You have purged Aztecka from Venderkelt Forest. However, shadow looms upon the horizon. Shaman King Mordecai is still lingering. His spirit still plagues Carafel Plateau. And from Aztecka's words, you learn that he indeed plagues Juvelin itself. For some reason, his spirit lingers and is focused inside the city, which is a revelation to yourself, because no one knows where Mordecai died. Apparently, he died in the city. You'll need to ask around to get more information about that.
Right,
however, you return to the city safe and near death, but didn't die, and all three of you managed to make it out alive with a newfound respect for one another. After you giving them some hope in reuniting them with their loved ones and getting to listen to their guidance, they're able to let go of a part of the poison in their souls, and they're ready to stand beside you in this final confrontation.
Awesome. That is awesome. Great news. Great work, everybody. High fives all around. I'm gonna go buy him a drink. Everyone deserves a drink for this.
You will be, for all intents and purposes, fully rested when you get back, but
Okay, cool.
there's other stuff that happens. I just don't want to say it for now. But let's just say
Okay.
the last thing you do is, along with your newfound companions, with a newfound respect and trust in one another, you, filled with hope, spring into Jubilin, prepared to end this spiritual threat once and for all. Until next time, the Restless Spirits will be put down. Well, sorry, they will be absolved or destroyed, whatever the dice will. I am the Dice Prophet.
Yeah.
This is my homie Evan, and thank you for watching, everybody.
Yo.
Thank you, everybody, and thanks for watching.
Bye.